Sangonani Dumelang and hello. Welcome to Sports Wrap on UJTV. My name is Mpumelelo Dlamini, here to kick it with you on everything trending in the streets of sports. Please make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms. We are UJ_sport as well as UJTV23. Well, with no further ado, you know I'm never alone. My partner in crime, Mr. Barak, sir.
How are you? How are you, Lila?
I'm great, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad, can't complain. Yeah, we're here doing what we love again. You know, with the escort of the one and only Hoopy.
Hey, so, yeah. A big shout out to that.
Let's unwrap it.
I want to know, it's been a long week. Highlights of the week before I share my exciting highlights.
Yeah, look, there's just been, you know, a lot happening at UJ over the weekend. You know, the girls rugby played at the Blue Bulls on Friday, obviously in a friendly run. You know, there was men and women's football, there was athletics, there was basketball. So, kupis, but obviously I think just to pin it down a bit, my highlight of the week would go to athletics. You know, obviously the UJ having competed there, you know, in Jamestown for the Central Gauteng Athletics meeting. With the under 16s, 18s and 20s, I think obviously there's just too much talent that obviously went on there. I think for me, UJ's Naledi Motsokhwane would stand out. She won gold in the 100-meter, you know, hurdles heptathlon, and obviously in just 22.49 seconds. So I think overall the performance by the club, and obviously amongst other achievements that went on, this one will stand out for me. I mean, this is for the under 18s, so it means, I mean, if this is what she can do, obviously it's a glimpse of what she's capable of and what UJ is investing in. So definitely, I think in the next few years she'll still be on her lips, you know, as a senior athlete by then. Investing
in young talent as it is. Well, my highlights of the week: a former women's rugby player. Yeah. She actually was part of the Varsity Cup last year.
Yes.
Elia Chogman-Jarman making the European tour.
Yeah.
Has to be a highlight.
Has to be. Look, I think in 2023 she was obviously part of the training squad for the Springboks, who are women's camp in Stellenbosch. And obviously she never made the final squad that was to play after that camp. But the nice thing about the system is once you are part of the system, you'll always be kept on the radar. So it's up to you to keep performing, and, you know, obviously your chance will come. And this is it. You know, the girls are obviously on a 3-week tour in Europe and UK, where they'll play, obviously, I think 4 matches if I'm correct. And this is a chance to shine, obviously, in the light of her being a UJ alumni. I think also it's a big thing for the women's rugby on a national platform to go test themselves as they prepare for the upcoming tournament, obviously.
Guys, it is possible, young girl. Let's have a look at this week's results.
Yeah, well, yes, it is another week, and yes, now we give you other results. Starting it off with the ABC Mutsipeli, where it was the derby of the Johannesburg derby. University of Johannesburg took on Wits University FC, and unfortunately, the boys lost that by 2-1. Well, the girls in the Hollywood Bets League, the UJ ladies took on JVW, and the UJ team won that match 3-1. And moving right along, we're moving straight to cricket. In the Enza Premier League, a UJ cricket team won by 123 runs against Kosa Cricket Club. And Enza Premier League B, it was an unfortunate match where UJ lost to Kosa Cricket Club by 7 wickets. Sticking on to cricket, President's B League, UJ won by 10 runs against Rivali Cricket Club. And Ladies Saturday 1 League, UJ won by 9 wickets against Kagiso Cricket Club. Moving to #Rugby That Rocks, UJ traveled all the way to Stellenbosch to play Matties, and it was an unfortunate match where UJ lost with a scoreline of 54-22. Taking on to rugby, the F&B Young Guns 2024 got underway. UJ won that match against University of the Western Cape, winning that match by 54-17.
And just having a look at the results. Currently, the ladies played their second game in the Hollywood Bets Super League. This is football.
Yes.
Hi. It's impressive, I must say. That 3-1 win against JVW.
On home soil.
I saw Janine van Beek standing there by the bathroom. She was not sure. What do you have to say?
Yeah, look, this is a very different start, you know, obviously in some time for the UJ women's senior football team. A very great start, way to set the momentum. And I mean, obviously we want them to take it from here and go on from there. In the opening fixture, in Polokwane, they won 4-1, and today they came back, obviously, the previous weekend to win 3-1 on home soil. I think it definitely was a hot fixture, as much anticipated. In the opening round, JVW lost 2-0, obviously, on home soil to TS Galaxy. So they came into this fixture hoping that they can redeem themselves. But I must say, I was part of the team talk before the game, and I mean, Coach Dunga literally and her assistant, they psyched up the team in the right way, and so the results literally panned out to what went on behind the scenes before the game started. So I think it was just a huge upset for the visitors. Looking at the game, UJ was very much in control from the get-go. We were making much needed, attacks, breaking the lines, and creating opportunities. And obviously, out of many created, only 3 were able to be converted. We were hoping to keep a clean sheet. It's just unfortunate that, in the last minute, that goal was conceded. But again, the maximum points stayed with us, and that's what made us at the end of the day. So I think, sitting in second position, obviously, after second round with 6 points and 7 goals for, it's a good thing, I mean, once again, when you look at the UJ squad, it's a very young group of girls with about 7 new signings, at the moment. So there's still, a long way to go in the league, obviously. But I think this momentum is what we need. And obviously also to get people to rally behind the team. So far, definitely the girls are doing good. And
I must say, majority of the JVW had a little bit of a bit of orange blood.
Yes, they do have the 2 defenders in Budimelo Rasihlo and Nomatamsa Nqasikweza. She was playing midfielder for us, Utami, in the previous season, but I saw they played at the back, and at this game. Amanda Mtandi, who's a striker, also comes from UJ, those things. And if you look at the game or the highlights, the first goal conceded by the visitors came from Tami's mistake. So then it's a question of, was she played out of position, or she was uncomfortable or scared playing against a previous team. But again, I mean, look, it's always good, I say, for players to move on to other teams or to elevate. We speak about progress all the time. But again, we are UJ. We are UJ, and it makes it more interesting when you play against your oppositions or former teammates in a different team. Just, okay, asibone ukuthi kahle kahle.
Asisabi.
Umehluko muphi la?
A big ups to the ladies. But ABC Multiple League, I see we're climbing up the rank a little bit. Just a little bit. From number 15 to 13.
Yeah.
That is promising.
It's a very slow progress, and I will reiterate the statement I made, last year when the boys qualified. It's the first season ever for UJ in the ABC Multiple League. I am not, or we're not expecting to win the league, but we have to maintain and stay in the league, and then build from there on. So yes, 13th position with 30 points on the log. I mean, very hard to accumulate, but we're here now. Still very much, obviously, outside the relegation zone, which is, obviously, I think, position 17 and 18. However, we still have just under 10 games left, and it's still risky,
Yeah.
But I think maybe the log could maybe not be a true reflection of the games because the chances are created in the game but not converted.
Yeah.
So it's just unfortunate that the boys are not maybe where they would have wanted to be. I think it's much safer to be in the top 10. But we're here now, and obviously we've got the next home game on home soil, so we're hoping that we can capitalize on that and just keep climbing the log gradually.
Let's have a look at the next upcoming fixtures.
And on what to look out for on our Streets of Sports, it is rugby that rocks on the Varsity Cup. The first match on the UJ Stadium on the 18th of March 2024 at 4:30. It is the FNB Young Guns Rugby. UJ will take on Martis. And later on that evening at 7 p.m, UJ will take on the NW Eagles on hashtag Rugby That Rocks. Make sure you make your way to the stadium.
And joining us right now, Captain Fantastic. While we discussing every single thing saying FNB Women's Rugby Varsity Cup. Her name is Fatuma Yelko. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you, Mpumi?
I'm great, thank you. Well, not to be shy, and everyone needs to know who this captain is. Well, last year,
Yeah.
first ever Varsity Cup,
Yes.
taking home a silver medal. How does it feel?
I think obviously it was a first ever Women's Varsity Cup ever. So I think even though we didn't perform up to standard in the final, coming home with the silver medal was absolutely an honor. So yeah, I think it was something that the girls can brag about. But yeah, I think it was a great honor, and we hope to step it up this year and come back with gold.
And David had something to say earlier on about the ladies actually having a warm-up run with the Blue Bulls
Yes.
last
Yeah.
week. David, what's your take? What can you say? What did you see, actually?
All right. Well, yeah. Look, I think with the warm-up games, the focus is always more about the structure of the team, to assess where are we in terms of what we want to achieve, more than the scoreboard, So I think, it was a fair game, in my view. There's definitely work-ons, that obviously the coaches can take back to the drawing board, and obviously in the week the girls can correct. But I think we definitely have the capability, obviously to go all the way. So the girls just need to fine-tune, the detail of the game, so that when they get to the game on the 22nd of March, they know what they need to do, and they know where they need to be, so that it will be easier to dominate the opponent. I mean, I think the beautiful thing is the first game will be on home soil, so obviously with the touch of the crowd backing the girls, it will definitely be an easier motivation, to obviously dominate the game. And what more would you want than winning your opening game of the tournament?
And how far are the girls right now?
I would say we're heading in the right direction. It is a week, I think, until our first home game against UWC. So, yeah, I think we're heading in the right direction. It was great playing the Blue Bulls Daisies on Friday 2 weeks ago. So I think that just showed us that we do have the capabilities, like David said. So, yeah, I think we're excited, and the girls are quite ready to start the campaign.
Yeah, look, I think just give us an idea, Fatuma. In your view, I mean, every season teams lose and gain players. Do you think the squad for UJ this year is much different from the previous season, and how will that obviously impact the performance going into this tournament?
Like I said before, we have lost a lot of players, but we've also retained quite a few players as well. So there is a lot of young, fresh talent coming into the team, which is quite exciting. A lot of girls, we have some junior Springboks in the team. We've got some girls that have played Craven Week before. So yes, it is a different squad per se, but it is quite an exciting squad. And I still think it's still going to bring the same talent, the same rugby that we know UJ Women's Rugby for. So yeah, I think it's a good squad, a young squad though. Yeah, but it's a great squad.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the squad, as she said, is comprised of players who've been to the Springboks, players who play provincial level, for the Golden Lions and the Rugby Union, and also Craven Week. For me, that speaks experience. So it means definitely, to some extent, the UJ has the upper hand. Lelo?
And I saw we ran a poll on Instagram.
Yes.
What are the percentages saying to us?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking to find out, obviously, what people think about this year's edition of the Women's FMB Varsity Cup, tournament. And I think looking at the performance last year, the UJ Women's Rugby team has managed to win, the society. So 91% people say yes, they definitely will be able to go all the way again. And 7% say, I'm not sure, maybe, maybe, and just 2% say, nah, I don't know. Hey, man, I don't know if you know that we can go all the way. So you should come through and back the girls, and let's see and witness this progress happen.
And definitely, tickets are free for the first 3,500 people to get to the stadium on the 22nd of March at 2 o'clock. So the first 3,500, you'll get a free ticket. Don't say I didn't say it, but I'm saying it. The first 3,500 people will be able to get their hands on free tickets once they get to the stadium. But the boys have started.
Yeah, they have.
The first have started. The young guns have started. So far, interpret how far we have come.
I think with the boys, it's always challenging. It is tournament rugby. It's never meant to be easy. So because the boys have been playing a lot longer than the women, I can't compare, like, the boys are doing worse than the women or whatever. But I think with the men, they did play Marty's, so hopefully they're going to come up with a better result. And with the young guns, it's a rocky start to the campaign, but hopefully they come up and get better results so we can at least see them in the playoffs. But yeah, I think the boys are doing the best that they can do for now. But yeah, we just hope that they can also come up with the winning spirit like us. So, yeah.
And I just want to touch base on
Yeah.
role models, the importance of having a role model.
Yeah.
Because as we speak, we have one former
Yeah.
UJ rugby player that
Yeah.
is all the way in Europe. She's playing for the Springboks. So how important is it to actually have a role model?
Yeah, I think, like I said, the younger girls in the team. When I was still in high school, most of these girls were probably like in grade 8 or grade 7. So seeing them now playing in the same university with me, playing in the same team with me, at least they can come and say, you know, I played with Fatuma, I played with Aliyah. So there's always something to look forward to. And Aliyah being all the way in the UK, it's a great achievement. It's one of the best achievements, I think, the highest level you can get to. So having people like that get to that level, it just showcases that your hard work does pay off. So role models are very crucial, and I think it's just great to see the younger girls look up to her and just try and get to her standards someday. So yeah.
I'm not being biased or anything, but David, any last words for our captain?
Look, I think maybe, just one more question. There obviously is a perception, around women's sport.
Yeah.
So I want to find out from you how easy or where does it start from being a women's rugby player, and how easy or difficult is it to balance academics and sport as a women's athlete?
Look, I think being a women's rugby player isn't any different from being any other athlete. But it always starts off, obviously it will start off from where you wanted to start from. For myself, I can say it started off in high school. I started playing rugby in high school, so that's where you find your balance from there.
Yeah.
Again, it is a choice that you make to play the sport. So it's not about finding a balance per se, it's just about putting the same amount of effort in your sports and in your academics. If you want to play varsity rugby as well, you need to make sure that you get a certain level with your academics so you can participate in varsity sports. So like I said, just put the same amount of effort in academics, put the same amount of effort in sports, and results will show.
And it's really about fit. Can't pass, can't play.
Literally and figuratively, can't pass, can't play.
I mean, no pun intended.
Well, thank you very much for joining us on that interview part of Side. We really wish you ladies the best. I'm also not being biased, but on the side. But please do come through on the 22nd, which is next week. So set your alarm. 3 o'clock is our kickoff. Free tickets once you get there. David, so I had the opportunity of watching the UJ cricket this past week. I must say, interesting sport.
And it's busy my name is Stevia.
I don't know why you didn't come through because there was no tickets there.
Yeah, look, the UJ Cricket Club is in season, pretty much busy, having 4 fixtures, every weekend, with 3 men and 1 women's team. I think I'm looking at the previous fixtures, 3 wins out of 4 games, definitely a good leg to stand on. I think with the Premier A side, having scored 272 for 7, obviously, and the opposition having scored only 149 for 10, which was Koza. They were playing away from home. There's a very intense game, speaking to the coach in the morning. I think the boys managed to hold their fort. We've got teams definitely dominating, the park on the day. But I think just to obviously highlight something from the Premier A side game against Koza. There's a boy there. There's a boy there.
His name is?
He's a problem.
What's his name?
Ryan Maritz.
Aye.
Ryan Maritz, on Sunday, the previous Sunday, obviously scored 131 runs in 1-2-3 balls, and of those runs there were 16 fours and 2 sixes. I'm not sure, what Dine Ontise is doing in the gym, the cricket boys. But yeah, those hands are strong. To stay on the park for that long, you can tell by the scoreline and his runs as an individual that he was definitely a pillar for the team's win, on the day. It's not only a team effort. I think individually he did very great. And he's one of those, players who joined UJ from grade 11 in high school. So he's been in the system for quite long enough to understand what's needed and what he needs to perform. However, the funny part is, before he came to UJ, while still playing back then, he was playing for the opposing team, which was Koza. So I don't know if he was setting a statement or if he was just good on the day. But I mean, not taking anything away from the opposition. UJ was a better team on the day, and I think it was just an absolute brilliant that he managed to clock 131 runs in 123 balls. I think, and yeah, it was just good of him. And I think obviously the league is drawing to an end. The boys will go into off season and then come back and prepare for USA in December. The Premier A side is sitting in second position in the log. I think it's good. It's good, and definitely they are title contenders at this moment. Similar thing with the Premier Division side, and we're sitting in third position. Could be contenders or could be looking to finish just in top 4. So I think Coach Shia said to me when you spoke after the game, the previous week, that this particular division of the league is a good benchmark for USA, because USA is also 50-over game or tournament.
Yeah.
So this performance and this momentum being carried over into USA when the time comes will be a great benchmark to know what to fix and what to not change because it's working for the team. So I think so far so good.
Nothing beats than beating your own home team.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. You need to show why did I leave. You need to show that there's progress.
And actually the benchmark of the new team, where it's at.
I mean, all respect to our oppositions, but performance is performance, and definitely, a big heads up to Ryan Marit.
A big congratulations to the cricket side. It's interesting to actually watch. Very interesting. Any closing remarks that you might have?
It is interesting, but I think I think like I said previously, the UJ clubs are getting into season. All of them. The basketball season is back. I mean, this will be their third weekend. So there's just a lot happening. You must just pick who do you want to support: football, men or women; basketball, men or women; rugby, men or women; cricket, men or women. Hockey is definitely also going to come into the picture very soon. Athletics is in play, so pick a sporting code and spend your weekend with us.
And there's no reason for you to be bored during the week and find something to do.
Surely not.
Well, from our side, thank you very much for tuning into today's episode. Be sure to catch us on all our social media platforms. We are UJ_sport as well as UJTV 23. Well, libito la ka ke Mpumelelo Dlamini. Until next time, re. Bye-bye.
The University of Johannesburg, the future reimagined.